Hey everybody, welcome back. It's our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I can't wait to get into today's show. Mondays are all about making sure that you start your week off right. Now, of course, you can listen to this any day of the week, but the goal is this, to be able to share with you many of the successes that I've seen go on inside of my integrative health practice over the past 20 plus years, working with hundreds of thousands of clients, sharing their successes, what's worked best, what hasn't worked as well, so that we can all learn from that. I am someone that is committed to learning for my entire life. I am a student of life. I'm a student of health, of psychology, in both mind and body. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you that I think is really timely, especially as we start to move through the year, right? As we start to look forward to a new year and new goals and hopefully new successes, reaching our true potential, is this thing that we refer to as average. Now, average isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with being average. It's also very subjective. What does average even mean? Well, average to you is what you feel that the sum of success looks like for an individual. So whatever you consider to be very, very successful in any area of your life, let's kind of go over those areas for one moment. So typically there is body transformation. There's the overall physique of your body, right? Whatever you feel is the pinnacle for you, well, that's success. Whatever you don't feel is acceptable to you or great, well, that's unacceptable. And then average is like, I'm just doing okay, right? That's average. Now, we can look at that in terms of our overall health, right? Our body, which we just mentioned, our relationships, that goes with family, with parents, with siblings, with your spouse or your partner, that goes with coworkers, etc. And then there is our spirituality. I just refer to that as basically as our connectedness, our place in this universe with God, the universe, creator, etc. And then we have our overall career, finances, that part of your life that you need at least to a certain level to be able to do all the things that you want to do. And that's why success is very different for different people. You know, if you want to fly around the world, be a jet setter, all that, well, you need a higher level of income, right? I mean, typically that you have to be able to do that. To do those things, you need more income. Now, if those aren't goals of yours, you can be perfectly happy living out your time with things that don't cost as much money. That's why I'm saying to you, we need to figure out for you what's the goal, right? And you need to be able to say, well, in each area of my life, these are the goals. Now, the thing is, though, some areas of our life we're just not as concerned with. And so we accept average much more easily. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you are in pretty good shape. You know, you're a healthy BMI. You are by all measures considered to just be like in, good shape. You're doing well there. And you're in good relationship right now. You've got that, job's good, finances, etc., right? But your health, you're starting to let go. And I've seen this actually happen quite often, because if a person doesn't feel themselves to be out of shape, they're in a good relationship, they have a good job, they feel, spiritually connected, then they start to see their blood pressure start to climb a little bit, their cholesterol start to climb, their numbers just start to get off, right? Their numbers are just not exactly where they should be. And they're like, well, I'm in pretty good shape. All the other things are going well. I'll just maybe get on some medication, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. And what I want to share with you, again, this can happen in any area of our life. It becomes what I say a slippery slope. And that means that, sure, today you're like, well, this number's a little off. These are getting a little off. And maybe I'll just wait and see, because that's what my doctor says. Do I need medication? Do I not need medication? Is it just genetic? Is it just familial? All these different types of things. And you're willing to say, okay, well, I'm just going to wait and see. But the problem is this, and I don't want to just use health, because it could also be, okay, I'm up 10 pounds, let's say you weigh yourself January 1, whatever the day may be, and you're like, oh, I'm up 10 pounds from last year. And you're like, but it's only 10 pounds, you're still at a pretty good weight, your BMI is still pretty good, your overall health's pretty good. All right, so you're 10 pounds overweight. Or in your relationship, so, it doesn't seem to be as strong, your relationship with your spouse, you're not communicating as well like you used to, you're not getting along like you used to, you're not going out on date nights, these particular types of things. So again, you can kind of see where I'm going, that you're starting to move more towards average. And I'm not saying this is you, but I've seen it quite a bit in my practice. When you work with hundreds of thousands of people, you get to see a lot of case studies, and I want to share these case studies with you. Now, of course, I can relate it to my own life in any different area, and I can understand that as well. What I've just come to see, though, and with this many case studies, is that I begin to see that these things don't just happen overnight. Right? It is a slippery slope. That 10 pounds of weight gain, you say, well, I'll just lose it in the next few weeks or so. And the next few weeks don't necessarily come. So you start to get comfortable with the uncomfortableness of being that 10 pounds over your ideal weight. Now, again, the 10 pounds is probably totally fine, but it's not your ideal. It's not where you want to be in life. And honestly, nobody else's opinion matters. It really doesn't. If you want to be 10 pounds up or 10 pounds down, that's up to you. But set a goal as to where you need to be for your health, for your body, for your finances and your career, right? Your family, for your relationships, your spirituality. You have to set that goal. And when average starts to creep in, be really careful. And here's why I say that. Yeah, you might be okay with the 5 pounds extra, the 10 pounds extra, whatever it is. But that 5 or 10 pounds somehow, some way starts to affect the psyche because you're now willing to accept less than your best, right? So now it starts to creep over into what? Well, your performance in other areas, right? Like if you're willing to accept the 5 or 10 pounds more than your ideal body, and again, it's your ideal body where you want it to be, you're like, well, maybe, right? Maybe in work, I'm not going to put forth my 100%. Maybe I'm going to pull back a little bit on, I don't know, Friday afternoons or whatever day it is for you, right? Like, I'm going to do a little bit less this week. I could do it next week, right? You keep putting it off till next week. That's what happens, right? We put it off till next week. We think next week is we're going to have more time, right? We're going to have more energy then. And the same thing again for our health. We start to feel that, I'm waking up a little bit more lethargic, a little bit more fatigued, not as much pep in the step as you used to have. All of these things seep into every other area of our life. If we are willing to accept average in any area, even if we don't care about that area as much, it tells our mind we're willing to accept less. And if you're willing to accept less, guess what? You're going to get less. And you're going to start to get less in other areas of your life. And I don't want that for you. Now, do you need to be all in all the time, 100% hustling? No, you don't. But you need to figure out what you need to do in your life in order to be able to achieve your potential. And it shouldn't take 100 hours of work in any area in order to get there. It takes way more work in the beginning because you don't know how to get there, right? That's why you need a map, a book, an online course, certification, a coach, a doctor, like whatever it is. You need to find that thing. So you just save time. Like that's the goal. Like you actually have a plan. Great. Now you follow the plan. Once you get there, I'm telling you right now, it's so much easier to maintain. It really is. Because then you start to see yourself slide. You're like, oh, there it is. Okay, got to get right back to it. This is the plan that I know works. I start to get off a little bit, understand it. You're not judging yourself. You're not harsh on yourself. You're just like, boom, I'm getting back right on to the plan. But I just want to get back to this average because this average, if you let it go long enough, it ends up looking like low confidence, low performance, low mood, low energy, low libido, and just like all the lows in life. Because you know that you're not living up to your potential. And again, you set your potential. Please don't let anybody else tell you what you're looking to get out of life. It's your goal, right? And like, it's not for me to say your goals are big goals, average goals, or small goals. I have no idea. All I can compare is my life to my life, right? Like that's it. That's all I'm looking to do, and that's all I want you to do either, so that you're not judging yourself positively or negatively, because in my mind, they're both negative. If you start to judge yourself against other people, you are opening the door to be judged, and that judge is you. Right? That is always the worst judge. You are your own worst critic. A lot of times we like to think that people are judging us. I'm telling you right now, most people are not thinking about us as much as we're thinking about how much they're thinking about us. That's the truth, right? So what I want you to do is simply focus on you. What do you want to get out of life? What do you want to get out of your health? And again, you can transform these things at any moment, right? It doesn't mean that your autoimmune dis-ease of the body goes away tomorrow. What it means is that you start working the plan today. And when tomorrow comes, it's also today, which you are working the plan. And eventually the day comes where you no longer have that autoimmune issue. Same with relationships. Same with body transformation. I don't know if you're going to be able to lose the 50 pounds in 5 months or if it's going to take you 10 months. But the truth is you're going to lose it, right? And you better get started today because that's the only way that it does start. Same with your relationships. You're looking to improve your relationship. I'm guaranteeing you it probably doesn't get fixed overnight. It's going to be a series of conversations and events and actions that enable you to have the relationship that you've always wanted. right? Open communication. This is what I'm looking for. It starts there. And even just the act of recognizing the average seeping into your life and you slowly sliding down that slope, just the recognition of that's happening allows you to say, yeah, this is not acceptable. I'm not accepting average. This is not for me. And by doing that, you are saying, I hold myself to higher standards than my average. And I'm not willing to accept that. Once you do that, you've now rewired the brain saying, okay, it's time to take action. It's time to get into it of what we need to do. It's time to make that plan a reality. Now, just starting the plan is all you need. To be honest with you, because you've already told yourself, not accepting average, working towards my potential. You don't need to hit your potential the same day. By working the plan, you're saying, yeah, this is not for me. I hold myself to higher standards. Whenever you do that, I'm telling you right now, it seeps then in every other area of your life. So if you're having difficulty in school or your job or a relationship, whatever it might be, by working on your body, like exercising and taking care of your health, good nutrition, right? Good supplementation, getting your sleep, doing things like sauna, cold, whatever it is that you do, by doing those things as to what you can control, it's going to make your performance in your job better. It's going to make your relationships better, everything, because you are putting in the work where you know how to put in the work and where you can put in the work, and it changes your mindset. And if you change your mindset, it doesn't stop when you move into another area unless you allow it to. So you want the positivity and the strength in the areas that you're good at to then flow into the areas that you're continuing to work on. Don't tell yourself you're not good at them. I try to tell my daughters that all the time. No, it's not that you can't do these things. You can. You're working on them. You're improving every single day. And that's the mindset that we have to have. It's okay if we're average right now in an area of our life. We just can't be okay with doing nothing about it. So as we begin to move forward, we build up strength, not just of body, not just of the nervous system, knowing what the actions are, but actually in terms of the mind. If the mind becomes stronger, you can literally do anything. It allows your spirit, which is in you, right? That energy that's within you to start to shine out. That's what it's all about. If you can build up that energy, that spirit inside of you, it gives you physical energy. It gives you mental energy. You want to do more in life. Like I really want to impress that upon people, because for a good decade, I didn't want to do a whole lot in life. I was what I would say depressed in both mind and body. I had no energy. Right? And then I started to get this lift because I said, I'm not willing to accept this. I went from doctor to doctor, practitioner, program and protocol to program and protocol. And I started to get answers. I started to get better. I used that as fuel and fire to continue to move on. Well, guess what? Everything else got better, right? My health company took off, working with great clients, hired great team members. My physical body got stronger. My sleep improved. My digestive issues, my allergies, my insomnia, all of that went away. Everything got better by me saying, I'm not willing to accept this. And what did that do? It just gave me more confidence. It started to build, like I said, that fire inside of me, which then led to more energy in both body and mind. Now, that is reciprocal. So basically what happens is if I have more energy, I want to go out there and do something with it. So that energy will allow you to say, no more average, not accepting it, moving towards my true potential. And that allows you then to wake up every single day, not saying, yeah, I've reached my goal. Maybe not, maybe not, but saying I'm willing to work towards it. It's a worthy goal. I'm not average. I'm not willing to accept average. And I'm looking to reach my highest potential. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into this Mindset and Motivation Monday. I appreciate you. And of course, do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve.